mic, right? Okay. We are an open and inclusive congregation. Our members walk diverse paths to find meaning and purpose, but we are united in our belief in the inherent worth and dignity of all. My name is Linda Heidenberg, and I've been a member here since 2015. Now, please join me in the chalice lighting words, which are printed in your bulletin.
Light this flaming chalice to illuminate the world we seek.
In our search for truth, may we be just. In our search for justice, may we be fair and loving. And in loving, may we find peace.
Opening words.
I have some. I really want to pass out these copies of Natural Awakenings. Tim, if you'll help me with that. We have a relationship with this publication. We advertise in it. That's the reason that the new edition is out front. But these are some old ones. You can see in the publication that we do have a relationship. We advertise with them, but they're also good for mulch. Having been in the printed word business for many years, I have occasionally found my newspaper column under a cat dish or in the bottom of a bird cage. So don't feel bad. Just take them home with you, but don't feel bad if you don't read them. You just use them for mulch. The other thing I want to mention is the celebration of Andy's mom yesterday. I have a blessing for all of you that when you pass, people will have as much fun at whatever gathering happens after you pass as those folks did yesterday. There was so much laughter in that room. There was so much storytelling. And then one of Andy's sisters got up and talked about how her mom, had thrown a Frisbee so hard that it disappeared over the top of a mountain. And one of her grandchildren said, "That is one more kick-ass grandma." So that's my blessing for all of you. For all of you, that you will be remembered with that much fun. It was absolutely wonderful. I do want to mention today and next Sunday that the board meeting will be held at 10:30 in the morning instead of 2 o'clock in the afternoon. For those of you who are fascinated by that process. Why is that considered a laugh line? Imagine. Our opening words come from Charles Eisenstein, who wrote a book I highly, highly recommend. It's called The More Beautiful World Our Hearts Know Is Possible. And it is as Unitarian in both its politics and religion as anything you will ever read. The more beautiful world our hearts know is possible. But last night, Charles wrote about the unlawful capture of the president of Venezuela. And he really did a great job of lining out how wrong it was and how horrible the situation is in our country now. But he ended by saying, we need to treat our opponents, especially our opponents, with respect, humanity, and dignity. Our politics is profuse enough with the opposite, with ridicule, contempt, mockery, and hate. Why are we so shocked when our president mirrors those same qualities back to us and projects them across the world? And I will now silence my electronic device, and I encourage all of you to do the same. So beautiful. So beautiful.
Original?
Rosemary,
Original?
Yeah.
Swan, Al, where's Al? Where'd Al go? Did Al leave? Surely Al's here somewhere. Okay, never mind. You all need to know that we have occasionally 2 guitar players here. One of them is really good, and the other one can't always get his strap over his head. Okay, help me with the joke. What did the Buddha say to the hot dog vendor?
Make one with everything.
Make you one with everything. That's right. And then the Buddha paid with a $20 bill. And he asked for his change. And the hot dog vendor said, change must come from within. I actually sang this song at a memorial service for a Buddhist in Sparta. Make me one with everything. Pour it on, help me sing. Be my little Buddhist hot dog man. Make me one that's all the way. Hold back nothing you've got to say. Teach me skills that I can understand. Teach me way and teach me woo. Teach me things I need to do. Must I close or open up my hand? Chopping wood and hauling water. These are things old Buddha taught her. I wonder now about your hot dog stand. Should I make mine with slow and chili? Or just let life go willy-nilly? Are there answers in your hot dog stand? Is what I'm asking beyond all reason? Or is asking questions out of season? Help me now or release me from your hand. Make me one with everything. Pour it on and help me sing. Be my little Buddhist hot dog man.
Billboard.
Y'all are so kind. Mystical experiences are difficult to talk about because they are beyond words. Mystical experiences are sometimes described as mountaintop experiences, but when people come back down from those mountains, the translation is often difficult to make. The struggle might even lead to the question, Why are you trying to explain the experience? You've already acknowledged that it's beyond words. You see the problem. I'm talking, you're listening, but something may be lost in translation. I have been telling y'all for years that Jesus and Buddha and Muhammad were all talking about sacredness within individual people. And the other day I found a quote from John Lennon. He said, "The sacred is within us all." And that's all that Jesus and Buddha and Muhammad talked about, but it was lost in translation. One kind person from 3 weeks ago said every word I had spoken landed exactly where it needed to. That was so heartening to me. When I was a Methodist preacher, I could hear myself talking, and one Sunday I realized I wasn't making a lick of sense. Not to myself, and probably not to anybody else in the room. But as I left, a woman said to me, that was exactly what I needed to hear this Sunday. One vehicle into the mystical world is doing what Thich Nhat Hanh recommended when he encouraged us to awaken from the lie of separation. And just exactly what is the lie of separation? As we listen to our narcissistic president refer everything back to himself, name stuff after himself, brag on accomplishments that nobody else can verify, we get a radical example of someone who has bought the lie of separation. What would happen to Trump or Netanyahu or Putin if they awoke from the lie of separation? They would have to stop their militaries from killing people. Nobody who accepts the truth of our unity with all of life could kill another person. As much as our arms manufacturers might cringe at the thought, awakening from the lie of separation would end all war everywhere. Now I'm going to tell you a story. But before I tell you this story, I got to tell you that the woman I got it from prefaced her statement by saying, "I'm not a religious person." And of course, as soon as I heard her say that, I went to say, "You're a Unitarian." Because even though some of us are religious, some of us have a different religion from our Unitarianism, many of us are simply here because we want to be with each other. We're not Christian or Jew or Buddhist or Muslim. We're just ourselves here in this room with each other. And that is Unitarianism in my book. And that is brilliant. So I heard this young woman say, "I'm not a religious person." And she had my attention. And I was asking them about a vision for their lives. It was a family gathering. They're used to this. I do it every Christmas. You kind of hear a groan around the table when I ask my question. But I said, do any of you have stories about having a vision, having something happen to you which showed you a way forward, which showed you the way life really operates? And she said, "I become one when I snowboard." She said, "I become one with the board, I become one with the snow, and I become one with the mountain." I loved it. She had awakened from the lie of separation. There was no just her. There was her and the board and the snow and the mountain. That's what it means to awaken from the lie of separation. Although the idea of absolute authority and absolute subjugation to that authority doesn't sound very Unitarian, it is at its heart. Let me say that again. The idea of subjugation to an absolute authority does not sound very Unitarian. But I hope you'll stay with me long enough to figure out how it is. Rather than work at getting you to accept absolute authority and absolute subjugation to that authority, I'm going to ask you to think about your own authorities, the ones that already exist in your mind and heart and the way you live your life. Where is the well where you draw water? I'm not talking about a relationship where you mostly agree with someone else. I'm talking about the authority you assume internally as you process the scenes of your life. I think for most of us, it is reason, making sense, weighed against other experiences by the standards you probably embraced in childhood and changed a little, adjusted a little as you came along. Okay, so now I have a confession to make. That last paragraph that I just read to you is one of the most boring paragraphs I've ever delivered in 32 years of doing this work. As I did last week, I have overstated the obvious. Last week, I told you this congregation is so wonderful, we deserve to celebrate. This week, I'm telling you that most of you, for most of you, making sense, logic, reason, may well be the ultimate authority to which you submit in the way you live your life. Well, of course it is. Only somebody deranged or in an altered state would do things that don't make sense, especially to themselves. A therapist once told me that even the totally deranged, insane people believe what they are saying at the moment they are saying it. It was a huge help in understanding my first wife. And what does any of this have to do with awakening from the lie of separation? First, it is a practice. You have practices already in your lives, right? Some of you regularly exercise physically, go for walks, swim, or lift weights. Some of you play a musical instrument. Mike Alex sure as heck does. Or you work puzzles, or you read for pleasure. All of these are practices. These are things we do. Awakening from the lie of separation is like that. It's a practice. You breathe, and you notice that you are not separate from your breath or the biochemical processes that clean the air and produce oxygen from trees. So we're not separate from any of that. We're all part of that. And as you practice awakening from the lie of separation, you notice oneness, connections, the trees, the sunshine, the grass growing in the yard. Notice that without the great network of farmers, truckers, warehouse personnel, people who work for the power company or at the water filtration plant, we'd all be dead in 2 weeks. We're not separate from these people. They are part of us and we are part of them. Noticing all of that at least once or several times a day is part of the practice of awakening from the lie of separation. Really? Am I encouraging you to notice our interconnectedness for some practical reason? Is it going to be of use? It is most effective when it is least selected. It is most effective when it is least selected. We become most independent, least connected to others in our lives when we believe we are better than other people. Now, you know, we as Unitarians do not believe we are better than anybody else, except the people who believe they are better than other people. We are definitely better than that. Our friend, the Reverend Travis Smith, tells the glorious story of a racist who was part of his childhood. This guy was no country club racist who would never use the N-word, but he was rather one of those Ku Kluxers who spoke regularly with a mouth twisted in hatred and bile. His daughter married a black man. And he said, "You are dead to me. You will never cross the threshold of our home again." He didn't go to the wedding, had nothing to do with his daughter until that first grandchild was born. And then that grandchild went with him to church, He showed that little girl off to everybody, and suddenly his daughter and his son-in-law were again welcome in his home. He had awakened from the lie of separation. But how does it work as we watch the news? As a lifelong student of history, I can tell you this is as bad as it has been since World War II. This is as bad as it has been. The loss of USAID, which cost the lives of babies in Africa, the successful deportation of 2.5 million of our neighbors, including our dear Julio Zambrano. And by the way, when we go over to have soup this afternoon, there are 2 people in that congregation who help pay the rent for Julio's family every month. They send in a monthly donation. Many of you have done the same thing. Thank you so much for your support. Julio is the dishwasher from Davidson who has yet to meet his baby daughter, who was born last March after he was deported. The executions of people on Venezuelan boats assumed to be carrying drugs, now more than 100 of them, at least 2 of whom were floating on wreckage and appealing for help when they were killed by the United States Navy. The bulldozing of the East Wing of the White House, the elimination of health care benefits and supplemental food for millions of poor Americans. The list just goes on and on. How do we awaken from the lie of separation as we watch the news? That, of course, is the toughest challenge in these extremely challenging times. Here's how I do it. First, I consider the childhoods of all the evildoers. They drank the wrong Kool-Aid as children. They were fed lies of white supremacy, male supremacy, class supremacy, and scarcity. They were told they mattered in special and privileged ways that could ignore the needs of those people who were less than them. They were fed a steady diet of the lie of separation. I don't know how they deal with it, but we must. We must appeal to the best in ourselves and our allies who seek, through politics and court cases, to undo the damage now being done by the country club racist I mentioned earlier. Our own awakening from the lie of separation comes into play as we take deep breaths of our connections to poor people, to marginalized people, and also our shared humanity, even with the bullies, even with the bullies. You've heard this story before, but listen one more time. A dear 8-year-old boy in Greenville walked up to a bully on the playground and asked him, how would you feel, excuse me, how would you feel if somebody were doing to you what you're doing to that other little kid? And the bully walked away. Compassion, empathy, generosity, and love don't just work when the living is easy. We are joined to the worst among us almost as though we were Siamese twins. We awaken from the lie of separation. As we awaken from the lie of separation, we will find the tools we need to remain compassionate, empathetic, generous, and loving. I know it is a challenge, so let's talk about it. Come on, Linda, help me.
Everybody, come on up and have your 2 cents. Go, Pamela.
Okay.
I also like to think about the evilest among us in their childhoods and what their childhoods may or may not have been like. I don't know. But I do know that all of us are wounded just from coming to earth. And that helps me to think about that and to calm down. It helps, probably keeps me out of jail. And I think think that's the best we can do sometimes,
It
is
is.
just to have that moment. where we
Yes.
just remember that.
Right. Right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I guess that's it. Come on, Jen. You can also use this mic, but no, you need to use that.
This is that camera.
That one's good too.
That's the TV mic. Well, that's the TV mic.
No, but that picks up all.
The two outer
Yeah,
mics.
you don't have to worry about
Use
that.
the two outer mics.
I will use whatever. I think that having a practice of becoming open, a practice of meditating or sitting with your breath or walking with intention, helps me to see people I absolutely despise as people worthy of love. And the reason for that is that when I'm doing that regularly, I become aware that the person I am and express to everyone is not really who I am. That there is a core that is better than that. There is a core that has a connection to everything, as you say. And when you realize that, when you think on that, you realize that deep within them, there is a core that is connected to everything. And the things they do, the horrible things they do, are not, it's the shell they're wearing, not who they really are. And I find that I can see who they really are in a different light.
Yeah.
On my Facebook page, my profile picture is a picture of a young child, a girl, and who is holding the earth like this. And I say, we're all in this together. And it's amazing to me that people don't get that we are all connected. No matter who we are, all nature, everything is connected, and how can we live without that? Another thing is the inherent worth and dignity of all people, which is something we ascribe to, can be extremely challenging. And when you think about some of the people who are running the country and doing things that are illegal, etc. But I agree that trying to think about how did they come to be who they are, and give some little grace, if we can, to them, and just try and see it from all sides. And you don't have to agree, and you don't have to like, and you can use your voice to let your representatives know and let your president know and all of that, that what they're doing is wrong. But what they're doing affects everyone. I mean, yeah, all of it.
I respect my elders.
I'm Jim. I think I've said this before in here. I read Mary Trump's book, President Trump's niece, I guess. And she talked about his childhood. He had a horrible childhood. His mother was ill and incapacitated. She could not nurture him. She couldn't give him the care that a mother gives a child. And of course, his father was a horrible person. So if he weren't so dangerous, I think we'd just feel sorry for Trump. I mean, he's a sad case because he's never felt love. He didn't feel that love as a child. And I think it's pretty well impossible for him to love or to reach out or to even be vulnerable. When we love people, we become vulnerable. we say, well, this is me and take me as I am. But he will never do that. Okay, let me just move on. We're in a very precarious situation right now, but I believe that we're beginning to see the tail end. I alluded to it earlier with my stone, the truth will make you free. People are going to see what this Venezuela thing was all about. And we've heard this story before. We're going to liberate them. We're going to get all this oil. We're going to get all this money. Wow, I think we heard that in 2003. And how did that work out? So I think we're on the tail end. And I don't hate Trump. I don't like him. And I don't like what he does. I don't hate him. I don't want him to die. I do want him out of office. Good job.
Thank
One of the best.
Thank you.
All good. So I just gotta add, Pat, you said that, as a observer of history, that we are in one of the worst places we've ever been. And I think about all the things that we've gone through. I mean, you think about World War II, you think about the Civil War, you think about the 60s and the riots and all those other things. But something always happens after those things, and it's always better. You go through this hell, and then the cure for it is what brings us to a much better place. And I think that's what we're at. I think that's what we'll see.
Come on, Ron. It's okay for a visitor to speak.
Oh, yes.
Encouraged.
Yeah.
Well, first I want to begin by thanking Reverend Pat for a wonderful talk. I want to say that I spent my entire adult life, more than 50 years, teaching political science to college students, from community college through university and ending up at Davidson College after I had retired in California. And all those years, I tried to inculcate in my students the need to participate in political life, because being an active member of the political community, first of all, we can't escape being members of a political community because we are that by definition as human beings. We are interdependent beings. We are one, as you say. So we can't escape our political role, but we can try to escape our political responsibilities. But in any case, what I want to say is that I've come to believe that the system of governance that we have inherited and have perpetuated in the United States is killing the soul of the American people. And it cannot sustain itself. It's going to collapse, I believe. And I'm thinking that what we need to do, not to stop being politically participating, to continue doing what we can do to elect good people to office. But I no longer believe that electing good people to office can solve our problems. It cannot. We have to fundamentally chart a new path. And by that, I don't mean that I'm a revolutionary, I'm a pacifist. But I do believe that we have to begin developing relationships with each other and with our communities that build a foundation for the kind of life we deserve and that we want to live. So I thank you for that.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Mike?
Keith? No, you don't know it.
Maybe someday we can rise and see. Open up our eyes and it may be. Turn a corner, you may find worlds of love and peace of mind. One fine morning you will rise. Lift that curtain from your eyes. Broken spirits try to heal the scars, searching for an answer in the stars. How can I just close my eyes? How can I just let it slide in? One by one you will see. Break the chains and set it free now, yeah. Let's spread the wonder all across the universe. Reach out and seize that moment before it slips away. Don't let it slip away. Maybe someday we can stop the rain. Open up our hearts and heal the pain. Feel the love that's calling you. Take these words and make them true. Yeah. One by one you will rise. Greet the new day from your eyes. You know it's true. You know it's true.
And you wrote that, right, Mike?
I did write it.
Actually,
I wrote that after the Newtown massacre, and so it's kind of an older song.
Still relevant, very relevant.
great song.
Thank you. Thank you, Eddie, too. It's hard to sit in on a song you don't know what to do.
That's how good he is.
Yeah.
Right,
He
right, yeah.
can fill in the riffs. This fellowship is important to us. And I'm going to just pass this around. I'll be not for sure here. The contributions we make today allow us to sustain and grow our congregation and to reach out to our community, both nearby and the larger world. Your giving affirms our commitment to each other and keeps us going. Is that all our money then, Bill?
We expect better after Thursday.
Well, I'm going to take a look at the announcements that are in our bulletin while we're passing the basket around. First of all, the bottom of the page, the inclusion community is not at the United Methodist Church. It is behind the Presbyterian Church, which is right after you pass the big intersection on 115 and Catawba. It's like 2 blocks down on the right before the library. And behind there is the hut. It's well marked. There's a parking lot behind the Presbyterian Church that should fit anybody interested in going to the Super Supper.
Can you give the exact address, please?
The address is on here, 21209 Catawba.
Okay.
It's just not a Methodist church, it's a Presbyterian church. But it's a little building behind that on Church Street, actually, on Church Street, and the parking lot's, right there, and it's well marked. They are not expecting us till 4:30, so don't rush over after here. You can stay here and help set up or to put things back.
Sure.
That would be good.
How many folks are coming? Okay, that's great. That's what they're expecting.
Good. Okay. It's a little building, but it should be a nice way to start the new year, I think, is to be joining with other people and other congregations. Let's see what else is on here. So there's no Super Supper. There's the social suppers are not happening. We're going to the soup. Yes, Jim?
The bulletin says 5 p.m., but it is 4:30.
Well, Pat has talked to them and told them that they'll take us at 4:30.
Yeah, I told them we're coming at 4:30, regardless of when it starts.
Yeah, you may not get fed right away, but you can kind of schmooze with the people.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, but not before 4:30, otherwise,
You just be
yeah.
hanging out.
So stay. Yeah, no, yeah, right. The invitation is to 5 o'clock, but anyway, it'd just be nice to meet another congregation that would like to meet people. And so that's that. The movie on Tuesday, Marty Supreme, is supposed to be a very good movie with Timothy Chalamet, I think. I know he's in it. Anyway, and the Heart of the Carolinas, they got rained out yesterday, and so they're rescheduled the fence bill for next week. Let's see what else we need to talk about. Of course, there's always the Friday Action Hour. PNC is coming up this week. Yeah, that's right away. What happened to the basket? Just wondering who ended up with the money.
Karen's got it.
Oh, you got the basket, okay. So I just want to be grateful heart to receive these gifts. And I'll get to them. Okay.
Do we need to announce about the second, that we have a?
Oh, that's not on here, is it? The dinner at, do you want to talk about that, Paul?
Or I think 10, I'm here in the whole.
Come on, ladies. Yeah, this is a month of celebration with other congregations, which I think is a great way to start out the new year.
Do you know what it is? Whether you know the Methodist or Presbyterian?
Yes, on the 18th, as you know, we've been invited over to Temple Coltifa for lunch with that congregation and also a few people from the Friends group. I have the sign-up sheet, which I had last week. I have it again. It's out on the front table in the lobby. And I really would like for today to be the last day for you to indicate whether or not you're coming and whether or not you're bringing food, because they need to get accounts and they need to, plan for chairs and plan for various things. So if you would take a look at the sign-up sheet, if you haven't done it already, and remember, if you are bringing food, we are responsible only for desserts, as Karen has coined the phrase, just desserts. And also homemade bread. And the rest would be catered by the temple, and they will provide drinks and cutlery. I will go over a little earlier in the day and help set up, and I'll talk to our contacts on the committee to find out where we're going to ask you guys to put your foods and your breads and your desserts when you come in. So we'll have some of that marked. So I'll have that information for you when we meet again. But sign up is out there, and even if you can't bring any food, but you plan to come, at least indicate so I can tell them how many people are coming. And it's from 1 to 2:30.
Lynn, you said about bringing bread, only homemade bread.
Yeah, yeah. Now, if you know of a wonderful bakery, though, that makes
Okay.
fabulous
You
desserts.
should pass off as your own.
You could, we won't say where it came from, but that's what they thought. Any other questions? Good. Should be a lot of fun. So, hit the sign-up sheet if you haven't already, and we'll be there. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to thank everybody who has helped set up and who's going to stay to help put this place back together, the people that do the recordings, everybody that pitches in. Very grateful to the congregation for that. The closing song is Come Sing a Song With Me, number 346. I kind of picked that because I wasn't quite sure what direction the sermon went, but I think if we all sing together, we'll be better off.
There you go.
So that's why I picked that song. Well, everybody wait. 346. Okay.
I have the wrong song.
Oh. Okay. Well, maybe it was
Now I
better
have
song.
the right song.
Maybe it was a better song.
No, it's- All right, this one's in C.
Oh, let's see.
This is really loud. Come sing a song with me. Sing with me. Come sing a song with me that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring the song of love in winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. That I might know your mind. And I'll bring you hope when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring the song of love across the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. And I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring the song of love across the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring the song of love and love in the winter time.
I think it's 2 songs.
So I do have a number of closing words. One is from Hal Rubin. Hal texted me during the service, said he's been under the weather, has not felt like coming, but still loves us and is appreciative of our checking in on him. Friday Action Hour is always in the bulletin. And we have had between 3 and 9 members of this congregation participate in Friday Action Hour. And some of you have said it's just not your cup of tea. But I want to just say to you, it's a remarkable gathering. It's an hour on Friday morning. It's people from probably 12, 13, 14 congregations across North Carolina. Lisa Garcia Sampson is absolute gold. She knows what she's talking about. She invites other experts in to let us know what's going primarily in the federal government and the state government, but she also makes us aware of issues that are affecting the courts. There's a man in prison now who was wrongfully convicted 16 years ago. And an eyewitness has changed his testimony. The prosecutor and the judge are both aware of the change in testimony. They're also aware of problems with DNA evidence. This man did not do this crime, and yet he served 16 years in prison. This is the kind of thing we deal with on Friday mornings and Friday Action Hour. And what I would encourage you to do is, if you just don't think you can give an hour a week, you just don't think you can be part of this process, let me know, and I will send you the Google Doc. And the Google Doc has listed everything we're dealing with. It has ways to contact your local representatives, your state representatives, your federal representatives. It's so thorough. It's so well done. Lisa's just very, very professional.
Lisa said that I believe this week, she's starting a new Google Doc.
Right.
So it won't be that, the other one, the old one has 5 years worth of cumulative
Stuff.
meetings.
Yeah, a lot to read. Yeah.
But you can go through it, and if you don't get to the Friday meeting, if you check the Google Doc, it will often give you what you need to know to take whatever, if there is an action for the week.
Right.
It'll give you links.
And I loved it. Week before last, her wingman, Caleb Graves, was asking us to call members of the state legislature on the day after Christmas. And he was saying, now, none of them are going to be in their offices, so you can leave voicemail. If you're shy about talking on the telephone, they're not going to be there. Call their offices, leave voicemail. Let them know how you feel. And Mike, beautiful song. Thank you so much. After the massacre, that's something we need to hear. One of the women at Friday Action Hour was really stressing that we need new gun laws in North Carolina. North Carolina is one of the states that has among the most liberal, well, maybe I shouldn't say liberal, some of the most wide open gun laws. And states that have the fewer restrictions on gun ownership, the fewer restrictions on types of guns, are places where gun violence happens. It's not a coincidence. It's cause and effect. So those of you who have a heart for that issue. George, you want to say anything about Friday Action Hour? George is almost always there.
Well, they do have lots of resources. They have spreadsheets with email addresses for every newspaper in the state.
Right.
For letters to the editor.
Right.
They will take you to other websites so you can identify who your representatives are and find their phone numbers and emails and so forth.
Right.
And on the issue of gun violence, I sent Lisa a song that John McCutcheon just published about gun violence, and the chorus of the song is, "We will stop at nothing to protect and save our kids, and stopping at nothing is exactly what we did."
Right, yes. Very, very heart-wrenching lyrics. Great
Hey,
stuff.
Pat, can I just add something on that for the Friday Action Hour?
Yes.
And that is that it is probably the easiest way for anybody that doesn't really want to be totally involved to take some action.
Right.
It just gives some very nice little, you can make this phone call, here's the phone number, here's a little issue, you can send something. It just makes things so easy to get involved for those who don't want to really make a big time.
Another thing is that the UU Justice NC, which is the organization that runs Friday Action Hour, that group is affiliated with 200 other progressive groups in North Carolina. Opposition to the death penalty, environmental issues, the Poor People's Campaign, all these different organizations who are working so hard. And one of our big wins in 2025 was the case where the Republicans tried to steal a seat on the Court of Appeals. We were very active. In fact, I was able to help organize a protest in my home county because I heard about it on Friday Action Hour. I heard that Common Cause was sponsoring these protests. 200 people showed up at our local courthouse in Red State, Rutherford County, North Carolina. We had 200 people on the courthouse lawn. And they all got checks from George Soros, of course.
Still waiting.
I might have said that as a joke.
Still waiting for mine.
People just wait there.
Yeah. The other thing that I want to mention is I'm so glad so many of you have signed up for this lunch on the 18th with the temple, because this is in response to Rabbi Rebecca speaking here and telling us how the children in that congregation have been bullied. They have been bullied because things in the world have somehow energized anti-Semitism. And so many Jewish people, Jewish college students, Jewish high school students, and in Rabbi Rebecca's case, little kids in Jewish schools have been bullied and terrorized. And this lunch is our way of saying to them, we are with you, we love you, don't give up the ship. And I do have closing words, but before I read them, I do want to say that I was in a conversation with a group of people the other day about eternal damnation. And we were all talking about different beliefs about hell and the eternal deep fat fryer and all these different ideas that people have. And this one guy said, well, I have run into Presbyterians. I said, Presbyterians? What is a Presbyterian? He said, well, these are people who believe that, not unlike the Frisbee, that when they die, those who have not lived good lives, those who have done bad things in their lives, will be confined to the roofs of houses for eternity.
Presbyterians.
To the roofs of houses, huh?
Presbyterians. Our closing words come from the great Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh. He said we must awaken from the lie of separation.
Closing words. Please join me in extinguishing the candle. We extinguish
the chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Amen. I don't think